Hello guys, so these are 4-year-old tanks, so Grot Tanks. I've got 2 sets of 4, so 2 units of 4, which is obviously going to be 8 tanks to paint up. Now it was Girl Painting 2010, I believe, that kind of inspired me to get these done, because she's working on these with her partner Mac, who I'm sure you all know. But yeah, I've had these sitting around for quite a while, so I thought it's about time I got them painted. And I'm going to show you how I'd go about doing that. So, I've got another 4 on the way at some point to add to these, but as I say, I haven't got them just yet, so until then I thought I'd just paint these ones and then I'll do the other ones later on. Okay, so these are all just built. I haven't undercoated them or anything just yet. The next stage is going to be undercoating them black, and then I'm going to talk through what I'm going to do after that, so I'll see you in just a second, guys. Okay, so these are all undercoated. So that was I washed them, so cleaned all the resin up, and then sprayed them with Purity Seal or another varnish, and then undercoated them with some black spray paint. Okay, so that's that done, that's the undercoat done. We're going to move on to the base coat stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some real examples of some rust on tanks now, just to show you what that looks like. And then I'm going to spray these brown. So I'm going to spray them with Tamiya Hull Red through my airbrush. You could paint this on by hand if you haven't got an airbrush. And hopefully these pictures might help illustrate why later on. I have base coated my tanks. Like I said in my previous section, I have base coated them Hull Red XF9 from Tamiya Colour. Now the only reason I've chosen Tamiya paints is because of how easy they are to access in the UK. So I can just amble up downtown and grab a paint from my local model shop, and they cost me under a couple of quid, which is great, you know, so that's why I use Tamiya paints for airbrushing. I do use Games Workshop paints as well for the same reason. They're easy enough to get hold of. But yeah, if you want to use Vallejo, or Vallejo's easier to get for you, go for it. I don't know what colour would be exactly right. If you're using old Games Workshop paints, then probably a mixture of Dark Flesh and Scorched Brown, or just go for Dark Flesh. These are actually a bit lighter than they are on camera, I'm not really sure. Or Rhinox Fur, Rhinox Brown even, from Games Workshop. Yeah, Rhinox Brown. Okay, so that's it guys. So I have base coated these. I've also gloss varnished these with some Winsor & Newton Galleria gloss varnish. The only reason I use that is because I already had it and it goes through my airbrush, so I didn't need to buy another airbrushing varnish. So we're going to move on to the next bit. I'm going to spray these with hairspray. You can use any cheap brand of hairspray. I'm using Tesco Value hairspray. You can use one from a dollar store, guys, over in the States or Australia or whatever. But yeah, just cheap hairspray. Okay, get a good coating all over, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Everything has been sprayed up again then, so I've already gone through everything. So yeah, I've gone over it again with my airbrush, and I've used Tamiya acrylic paint, flat black XF1, just because it goes really nicely through the airbrush, so, and you get a very nice matte finish. I sprayed over the top of the hairspray, and now I'm going to try and chip some off. So I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly. So what you're going to need for this is just a cup of hot water, okay? So I kind of half boil a kettle, and that's what does it for me. And then you're going to need some rough brushes. So, one sec. This is the sort of thing you need, okay? So it's just a cheap, low quality hog hair kind of brush, or even probably nylon actually. But you can get them from any kind of pound shop. They sell them as artist brushes, but they're not really artist brushes. So I'm going to move some stuff aside, and I'm going to pick out one tank, and I'm going to show you how to do this on that one. So here it is, folks. This is the one I'm going to be working on. I've made it so these are actually separate parts, they all come off. The turrets from the actual tank body. Sorry about my nails, that's just the airbrush spray, but there we go. But yeah, that just makes it a bit easier to work with. Now, I've tried not to spray the tracks and the engines too much, because those are going to end up getting repainted anyway, so I just didn't want to waste any paint, really. That's the only reason. Okay, sorry if I end up over here, it's just I am to your left, but bear with me, I will try and bring stuff back over. So, the way to start doing this is get your hot water on your brush, just so it's kind of damp. So take a little bit off on your hand or on a tissue or something, and start to paint it on. Okay, so I generally do this in sections. Let that kind of soak in a little bit, and then start to rub the model, and hopefully it will start to break up and pull off some of the paint. There you go. I'll bring that close up. You can kind of see where it's done that. I then recommend get a cocktail stick and you can start to chip and exaggerate certain areas that you think would be quite nice. Excuse me. Now this effect definitely works best when used on a light colour. So black's probably not the best colour for it, but the next stage is going to show you how we can actually use that and how we can rectify that problem and make our model a lot more interesting. So I'm going to carry on with this. I'm not going to bore you to death with it. I'm going to get them all done, and then I'm going to come back to you in the second part of this video with what's going to come next. Okay, but just before that I'm going to have a quick note. So once this is all done, once you're happy with all your paint chips, let them dry for 24 hours and then spray them with a matte varnish. Now the matte varnish that I use is Tester's spray lacquer. Okay, now this is a product called Dull Coat. The reason I like using this is because it is the best matte varnish that I found. It is quite small. I mean, we all know how big a Space Marine is, so that's how big it is. Okay, it's quite small and it's about £5 a tin, so it doesn't last particularly long, but it is the best matte varnish I've found. So it's great for in between painting stages because it very rarely fogs. That's why we've got to let the tank dry for 24 hours just to make sure there's no moisture for it to pick up and start fogging. But yeah, that's it. This stuff's really great. I'll put a link to where I buy it from in the UK, because I think there's only one trader in the UK that's now selling it. So cheers for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video so far. Please comment, rate and subscribe. Let me know what you think so far. And yeah, see you in the next one.